guys, welcome to class. Hi guys, welcome to class. So today we are at home again and we are working. And today that means that we'll do at least 10 to 15 minutes of a very, very gentle flow. And then we will move into a more traditional yin style class. If you've never done yin before, it's incredibly relaxing. So we'll be on the mat almost the entire time, except for that 10-15 minutes where we're doing a little bit more of a flow. And let's get started. All you need today, so this is definitely, yin is a little bit more prop-centric of a style practice because we need to be propped up so that we can fully relax in the poses. So this wouldn't be a style where you would be reaching and striving to get deeper into the pose. Instead, you fall into the pose, you allow your body to relax, and you settle there. So all we need today is just a plethora of pillows. Say that 10 times fast, right? So I've got about 3 different pillows here, just so that I can adjust the height of my props, depending on the type of move that we're in, the type of pose that we're in. So have a good variety of pillows, some that are a little softer, some that are a little denser. And if you need to pause the video so that you can go ahead and grab those pillows, then please do that. When you are ready, join me back here on the mat and we'll get started. Assuming that you paused and you're back, go ahead and clear your pillows off the mat for now. Just set them off to the side, out of your way. We won't need them to start with. We're going to start with our flow, more of our gentle flow. Go ahead and come into a child's pose. We'll relax there. That's all we got to do. So this whole practice is incredibly relaxing. You will love it. If you've never joined me before, know that I may do a few moves that are a little different because we got a baby in the belly. So I might have a couple variations that I do that are slightly different to accommodate that. Child's pose is not one of them. Go ahead and come all the way down. Relax into your child's pose. Take your forehead down to the floor. If your hips don't come all the way back towards your heels, that's not going to bother anyone, I promise. Just let yourself relax. Take your time. And don't worry about trying to see me right now or to guess what I'm trying to do. I won't trick you. We're going to relax here in child's pose. We're letting the arms relax, the forehead relax. Allow your breath to stay easy. Breathe in through your nose if you can, and out through your nose. Often. Maybe rock your forehead back and forth on the floor. Let's say your forehead does not touch the floor. We can stack fists, right? We can bring it incredibly relaxing. Nice. So just take deep breaths. Give yourself permission to let go. Depending on how you feel about our current situation, it's stressful. Let's give ourselves a chance to just be here and healthy right now. Take one more deep breath. We'll bring the forehead back to the center. Slowly walk your hands back towards you, lifting the chest. So we're coming on up out of that child's pose. Bring the knees in a little closer together. They're about hips width apart. Let's climb it forward into a table pose. Great. Knees right under the hips. We have the wrists under the shoulders. Go ahead and drop your belly. Lift your head and tailbone, coming into a cow pose, lifting the chest. Just pause there. You don't need to come out of that right away. Feels really nice. Great, let's move the other direction. Pulling the belly button up into the spine, dropping the head and tailbone, coming into your cat. And again, pause. Breathe. Super. One more each way. Slow. Find your cow pose and pause there. Don't move out of it right away. We're not in a rush at all, right? Just see what your body feels like right there in your cow. On your next exhale, let's move back into that cat. Pulling the belly button up into the spine. Head drops, tailbone drops. Pause in your cat. Feel the back stretch out. Breathe. Oh yes. Feels fabulous. Great, let's take it back to the center. Awesome. From here, move side to side. What I mean by that is we're gonna open up. I'm gonna turn to the front so maybe you can see me just a little better. So we're keeping the back completely level. Instead, we're gonna turn to the side. Keep the back, the shoulders level. We're still pulling up in the abdominals, getting a nice side stretch here. Again, we're pausing, okay? Pause. One more deep breath. Great, bring it back to the center, and then to the other side. Lengthen as we move to the other side. Imagine that you can feel yourself. You don't even have to imagine it. You can feel yourself getting longer on that side. Wonderful. Perfect, bring it back to the center. Great, let's move back and forth between all four of those planes of motion, right? So what we'll do is first we'll do either a cat or a cow. This part's completely up to you. Cat, cow, neutral, and then into one side. Bring it back to the center and to the opposite side. And just keep going. Explore. Remember, this is nice and soft. This is for you to enjoy. This should feel great. I'm going to start on the other side as I just kind of mixing it up, alternating which side I start with, just for fun. You do not have to do that. There is no right or wrong way to do this. Let's do one more in each direction. One more cat, one more cow, however you're starting. And then we'll open up to the left once more. We open up to the right once more. Perfect. And then we come back to the center. Beautiful. Still in our table, tuck the toes under. Let's find a down dog. Pressing the hips up and back behind you. Doesn't matter if the heels reach the floor, maybe pedaling the feet, just getting a little movement going, right? We're not worried about a specific type of shape. We're not trying to make it to, the cover of a yoga magazine or get 3 million likes on Instagram or anything. We're just feeling it out. So just move around, gentle movement, getting into the hips, getting into the back of your legs, maybe feeling this in the shoulders, in the spine. You cannot do this wrong. The beautiful part of one, doing this style of yoga, but also being at home. No one can tell you you're doing it wrong, as long as it feels good to you. Great, let's come to a neutral place. Take your right foot, nothing fancy. If you want to stretch it back behind you, you can, but we're going to take the right foot in between our hands. And let's go ahead and lower the left knee down and bring the foot down to the floor. The top of our left foot down to the floor and just hang out in a little lunge. Keep this really soft. So this isn't going to be like a really stretchy, type of lunge. I'm not doing anything like that today. Deep breaths. If you need to come up a little higher because you're just in it way too low, feel like you can do that, okay? Do what feels right for you. One more deep breath here. Let's take it back into our down dog, right? Nice and slow. Your speed, moving it back. Gorgeous. When you're ready, left foot comes forward. and bring it on down. Awesome. I just realized, I think I did my right foot, or my left foot instead of my right foot, and this is my left foot instead of my right foot, you know, vice versa. If you've taken my class before, you know that it's because I always mirror the class, so I'm always doing just the opposite, so it looks like I'm doing the same thing as everyone else. So when I practice at home and I'm alone, obviously I don't worry about whether I'm doing left or right, just do one side and the other. Let's take it back into our down dog. I'll have to keep that in mind during our videos. Take some deep breaths, relax, old habits and all that business, you know. When you're ready, let's walk our dog up to the top of the mat, walking the feet up to the top. Allow yourself to hang in space. If you're like me and you need a little extra space, maybe bring those hands to the shins or the thighs for your forward fold. Allow yourself to go. So if you can really let it go, hang heavy, okay? Breathe. Release. This already feels nice. It stretches the back of the legs. Wonderful. One vertebrae at a time. We're climbing up the legs. Let's come all the way up to standing. Beautiful. Bring both arms up. Inhale as you lift. Bring your palms together and the hands come down to heart center. Take a couple of deep breaths just like this. Nice. Bring both arms up. Inhale, lift. Awesome. Space in between the palms. Space in between the palms. Step your right foot back. I'll do the right foot this time. Step your right foot back for a warrior one. Warrior one, you're gluing your right heel to the floor. Nice, generous lunge in your left knee. Up to you whether you bring the arms up overhead and relax. Breathe here. Take a deep breath. Oh yeah. Release the hands to your hips. Awesome. We're going to straighten the left leg, turn towards me, and fold in half all the way down. And if for some reason, as you're turning, if you end up turning away from the camera, it will not matter. I promise. We're folding in half. Our legs are wide. If you want to go wider with your feet, feel like you can do that. If you're super flexy and you can really bring it down to the floor, feel like you can. Just remember to keep it soft, right? This is not the class to push yourself. That's not how yin yoga works. Great. One more deep breath. Roll it up, one vertebrae at a time, all the way up. Great. Hands back to the hips. Let's turn our left toes back to the top of our mat. We're going to lunge back into our left knee. Perfect. Both arms are going to lift all the way up to the ceiling for our warrior one. Once again, palms together, hands to heart center, and then let's lift it back up to the top of our mat. Right foot's going to come up. We'll bring both arms up. Inhale. Exhale, fold in half all the way down, as far as you want to, right? So whether the hands touch the floor, shins, thighs, breathe. Right? Now's your chance. Deep breaths. Great. Slowly roll or walk it up the body, one vertebrae at a time. Arms come up, palms come back together, hands come back to heart center. Great. Let's step the left foot back for our warrior one. We can keep the arms at heart center, or they can rise, they can lift. Beautiful. Pulling those arms back, keeping the chest in more or less a neutral place, right? Awesome. Belly button's pulled in. Imagine that my belly has the ability to pull in right now. You're gonna pull your belly button in towards the spine. Take some deep breaths. Cool. We're going to go ahead and take the hands down to the floor, straighten the right leg. I'm going to turn away from the camera. You might have to do the same thing here, okay? So go ahead and turn, fold in half, all the way down, just like we did before. I can see you still here. And then again, little movement, right? Little soft movement or fold into it, whatever's feeling good for you. Take some deep breath, feeling the back of the legs stretch. That's what we want here, just that nice stretch on the back of the legs, feeling the hips open, inner thighs get a chance to open up. I should say inner legs, because we can feel this in the calves too, right? Take one more deep breath here, and then we're gonna roll this up one vertebrae at a time. Nothing tricky, exactly what we did last time. Hands come back to the hips. We'll turn the right toes back to the front of our mat. We'll lunge back into our right knee, and we'll find our warrior one yet again, lifting both arms up to the ceiling. Beautiful. Awesome. Go ahead and release the hands down to the floor. Nice and slow. We're gonna step it back this time. So instead of stepping the foot forward, take your right foot back. Join the left in a plank. You can bring the knees down for your plank, right? So you decide what happens for that plank. Deep breaths. We're holding it. Excellent. Gently release the knees. Send it back into a child's pose. Oh, feels so nice. Nice wide knees. We have the hips going back towards the heels. Allow your forehead to rest on something, whether that's your stacked fists or maybe the floor. Relax. Arms can do whatever feels good for you. Ah. Great. One more deep breath. And then let's slowly rise. Come all the way up. To move just a little bit. Let's really slow down. Not that we were going fast, but let's really slow down and move into our yin practice. I've got all my pillows. Go ahead and just have your pillows accessible. You still haven't grabbed pillows, I encourage you to go get them. You will need props. You can let yourself hang in space when you're in yin, but honestly, you're at home. You've got probably 400 pillows laying around the house anyway. If you're like me and you have like 90 decorative pillows laying around, grab about 30 of them. We'll use them, I promise. We can make it really interesting with those pillows. All right, so let's take the legs straight out in front of us. Now I'm gonna face you, so I may not be on my mat. I encourage you to stay on your mat so you're more comfortable, okay? We're gonna extend the legs out in front of us. You're gonna take one of your pillows, if you have multiples, right? Take one of your pillows, bring it under the knees. I don't care how flexible you are. Go ahead and take a pillow under your knees. The knees are gonna be softly bent. Another pillow or two, we're gonna use to fold forward. So if you're more flexible, you might only need one pillow, right? You might need one pillow. You can take your forehead all the way down. We're just folding in half, right? Forehead all the way down to the mat, not to the mat, to your pillow, and you can hang out. If you're not that flexible, two options. Option one, elbows are relaxing on your pillow and you let your forehead rest in your hands. So you're essentially bringing the level of the pillow up to you. This is it. It is enough, I promise. You relax here. If this is still too much, right, you can stay sitting up tall and just let your head come down in towards your chest. That might feel really good. Now, some of us, when we're here, so if you found your space and you're happy there, relax. If you still feel uncomfortable, for some of us, we can feel forward folds in our low back, and that can be really distracting, can feel kind of awful after a while. I would encourage you, if you have a denser pillow or a folded up blanket, so at the studio, we have some folded blankets that we use for this often. Instead, you're still gonna have that pillow under your knees. I'm just gonna move it off to the side so I can get adjusted here. You would sit on something that lifts you up a little higher. You would still have those knees softly bent with that pillow behind your knees, right? Here's where we want all 90 pillows. We're taking that other pillow maybe to our lap and we can bring it on down. right? So this kind of lifts the hips a little bit and it takes us a little bit further forward. And then we're not dumping our weight back into the low back. We're getting a little bit of space here where we can gently move forward. And if it doesn't feel good to fold in half, stay lifted. Stay lifted, maybe just with your head coming down in towards your chest. This is plenty. So wherever you found your comfortable space, your comfy place, stay there, okay? In yin, we're in our pose for a while. So just allow yourself to relax. Take some deep breaths here. Allow the head to be resting either on your pillow or your hands. Breathe. The feet are relaxed. The knees and the thighs are really soft. And this is it. This is all you have to do for the next half a minute or so. Just let yourself melt. If you really feel completely unchallenged here, and that's just going to ruin your day, you're more than welcome to remove the lap pillow and just let yourself melt here. Notice that we're melting forward. We're not trying to grab our hands or our legs. We're not pulling ourselves forward in any way. You know what I mean. If you're trying to reach forward, snap it and knock it off. Allow yourself to relax. Arms can be resting anywhere you want them to. We can still let our head rest in our hands, or we can let the head dangle free. If you choose that option to let your head dangle free, you really need to commit to letting the full weight of your head come down. So we're not holding back in any way at all. Take some deep breaths. It's just not where I'm going to live. Breathe. So right now this is for the back, as well as a little bit into the back of our legs. We'll get a little bit more intense in a second. But for now, just breathe. Take some deep breaths. Know that you're in the right place. Great. One more deep breath. Let's slowly lift our head from wherever we've got it, right? We lift all the way up. We roll the shoulders back. We're sitting up nice and tall. Let's take our pillows out from underneath us. We'll crawl into all fours. We'll come to a table pose. All right, wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Some cat-cows here. Oh, yes. Goodness. Great. One more each way with your cat-cow. Fabulous. We'll come to a neutral place, neutral in our spine. Our next move is moving into a pose that no one likes. Okay, absolutely no one likes this pose, but it's good for us. So it's for our hips and our hip flexor. We're going to take our right foot forward in between the hands. Let me move my pillow so you can see here. So we're going to move that right foot forward in between our hands for another lunge. Left knee is on the mat. Now, we're going to be here long enough where you may want to help prop up your left knee, okay? The way we are going to do that is we'll take a pillow under our shin. Don't worry about the knee. The knee, in fact, can kind of float a little forward of the pillow. It's the shin that's really going to help support and lift that knee away from our mat. Once you've got that pillow in place, notice how I'm in this like weird 90-degree angle here. We're going to start to shift forward. We're going to get a nice stretch in that left leg. I should say length more than a stretch. You've arrived in your next yin pose, which means we're here for a billion years, right? Now, just so you can see some options. Ooh, hello, I'm nice and close. back so you can see my little feet. All right, we got the hands on the inside of our foot. We're gonna angle our toes slightly out. Great, my knee is tracking over my toes. So I don't have my foot here and my knee here, right? So this is a really bad angle on our ankle. We're opening up in the foot. Beautiful. Hands are on the floor. If you're feeling really flexible, you can take the forearms down to the mat. However, may I say a little note of caution, a little caveat here. If you decide to bring those forearms down to the mat, we are not scooching back in order to get those forearms there. Notice I went into that weird 90-degree little box with my legs again. That's not what we want. We want to keep it forward. I like to stay on my hands here. If this is too much, you can climb it up to your thigh. You can keep the hands attached or our forearms attached to our thigh. We can bring the head down. Remember, we're in yin, so we're not looking for, again, a yoga magazine shape, okay? We're trying to listen to our body. We're opening up certain muscle groups, and we're relaxing others. Admittedly, baby dragon is not a super relaxing pose. It's quite intense. Take some deep breaths. Take one more deep breath. Perfect. Now start to sink the hips back towards the left heel so you've got some space, and we'll take it back into our table pose. Give it a little shake out. So we weren't in that one for too long, which is nice. Great. Let's do the other side. Before we even move that left foot forward, let's go ahead. See it, the back of the cat moving there. We're going to take our pillow underneath our right knee, and we'll bring our left foot forward, and we'll settle into our dragon. You're going a little wide with the left foot, with both feet. So you do this on the right side. We're going a little wide on that left side. And remember, we're not staying in this little box. We're pressing it forward. And I think press might not be the right word. I would say you're letting yourself sink forward. Pressing forward gives the impression that we're pushing, right? We're putting force into it. We don't want to put force into this move. Angling the left toes slightly out. And letting your left knee follow those left toes. So again, we're opening things up in the inside of our leg, and we're giving ourselves space here. Settle on it. Forearms, keep that length in that front of your right leg. And breathe. The breath is the most important part. The breath helps to get you to that relaxed state. Wonderful. Let's take one more deep breath here. And then again, we'll set the hips back towards the right heel, and then we'll start to walk the hands back, crawl it back into our table pose, and then give yourself a gentle shake out. Nice. All right. Swing the legs around in front of you. We're going to remove some of our pillows, but we want them close because we want to have the option to use them. I'm going to get a quick drink here. Make sure we're good on our time, and we are. This is a good thing. All right. So, sitting up tall. Now, remember how we talked about the sitting up tall before? If sitting up tall long term isn't in your wheelhouse, we take the end of a pillow, we sit on it, right? And it lifts us up. Know that you can do this. We're going to be here long enough that it might be worth it for you to do that. Great. If you have the pillow in place, awesome. I'm going to turn to the front so you can see me. You're going to stay the length of your mat. Let's take our left foot forward. We're going to bend the right knee out to the side and really tuck in that right foot. This isn't strictly yin for our next bit. So if you enjoy reaching forward and you just want to really crank down into this stretch, now's your chance, okay? Otherwise, keep it really soft. If you're going more yin with me, keep it soft. Allow yourself to drape forward over the left leg and breathe. Our left foot is straight up from our left hip bone, so it's really in line here. And just relax. Take one more deep breath in this pose. Come all the way back up. Give yourself a little space with your right foot. Bend your right knee, and you're going to cross the right foot over the left leg. Great. Interlacing the fingers, hanging onto your right knee. We're sitting up taller here. So we're sitting up nice and tall. So you might have been here. We're pulling that knee gently in towards our chest. As we sit up tall, we're looking forward, the shoulders are relaxed. And if you want to practice a little more activeness in that left leg, press the entire back of your left leg into the floor. Flex your left toes. Again, we're not doing strictly yin here at the moment. We breathe. It's a little bit more, lot bit more active of a pose than our traditional yin. Take one more deep breath. Awesome. All right, so here we go. From here, you're gonna start to slide your knees towards each other. Now, if you're very flexible, your knees might go right next to each other and they'll stack one right on the other. I've never lived that life. So you'll have to tell me what it's like. So bring those knees as close together as they will. So we start right with our knee up in the ceiling and we're doing our best to scooch those knees towards each other. This is your option one. We're gonna fold forward yet again in this option one. You can bring as many props over as you like to make you feel comfortable here, right? I mean, you can stack this up to the ceiling. You can be like the prince or the princess in the pea and really have a million mattresses here that you're stacking up for yourself. If you want this to be slightly more challenging in the back of your left leg, you would just let yourself hang free. Believe it or not, the weight of your upper body is going to open up the back of your left leg. You'll still feel this in the back, you'll feel this in the shoulders, you'll feel this in the neck, but you let yourself relax. So either propped or folded in half. And just dangling here. Great. If you want a more hip-intensive option, you will no longer feel this option in the back of your left leg, and that's totally fine. You can take your left foot over to the right side of your mat by bending your left knee, right? Cow face pose. You would bend it over, one foot's on one side, one foot's on the other side. Ideally, your knees, are still, nice and close. Again, I'm very tight through my hips, the sides of my hips, so my knee will not be coming down to the top of my left knee, but if your right knee can actually rest on top of that left knee, great. Again, we can sit up tall. We can use props. We can let ourselves fold in half. I'm going to keep my left knee long. That's going to give me the most space. I'm also going to use a prop because forward folds don't feel so wonderful with a baby in the way. So I'm going to use some props here. I'm going to do the princess and the pea thing. We're going to hang out here for a while. So allow yourself some freedom to relax here. Give yourself a chance to find what feels comfortable and breathe. You're good. You have the time to get kind of settled. Once you get there, just relax. The deeper the breaths, the better it is for you. Let's do one more deep breath. And as you exhale, relax, roll it up, come all the way up so you're sitting upright. If you were already upright, you're good to go. Let's go ahead and set our pillows off to the side. We're going to stay on this same side. We're just going to move into a different position here. And then I'll show you different angles. First, we're going to take both hands. So first of all, if you have that left foot curled up in your cow face pose, free it so that your left leg is once again nice and long. We're going to keep that right knee crossed over the left. Hands are behind you. Everybody's going hands behind them for support. We're going to start to bend our left knee, and we're sliding our right ankle towards that left knee. Now, everybody has a different level of flexibility here. So from the side, you can kind of see what this looks like. We had our legs straight, and we would slowly start to bend into it. You're going to feel this more on the right side. This is where we want it. Don't worry about trying to stay really lifted and gorgeous in the chest, right? Allow yourself to sink into this. This is for your legs. We're not worried about the chest lifting here. That's not yin, okay? Breathe. Now, if you can let the left heel get really close to your tushy, you will, right? You relax. This is it. This is really relaxing for some of us and not relaxing at all for others. If you need more space, keep the left leg long and just have that right knee out to the side and the right ankle resting above your left knee as much as you can. You would just relax into it, just like that. Feet are relaxed and breathe. Nice. Couple more deep breaths here. Great. One more deep breath. Perfect. Start to give yourself some space. Moving your booty away from the heel, extending the left leg out. Go ahead and unwind the right leg. Maybe windshield wiper a little bit. You can even rebend into the knees. Perfect. Great. Let's do the other side. Everything we just did on the other side. Again, you stay just as you are. I'm going to turn to the front. We have our right leg reaching out, straight out from the right hip bone. Left knee is bent, left foot we're bringing in close. This is your chance to get deeper and have a more active, not yin-like stretch. So if you want to hang on to a foot, you want to really fold it forward and really work on that flexibility, do it. Otherwise, soft. Soft and relaxed. Couple breaths here. Perfect. Go ahead and come all the way up, a little bitty bit at a time. We keep the left knee bent, but we're going to lift the left knee. Left foot crosses over the right leg. And this is where we're interlacing our fingers and we're pulling our chest a little bit closer to the left thigh. So we have a really, really active lift here. Maybe we're flexing our right toes, bringing the right toes towards your shin for a really active stretch. Perfect. One more deep breath for the active part of our stretch. Nice. Now, start to climb those knees a little closer together. However close they're gonna go. However far or near, let them just come together, right? We take our pillows. If you're stacking up mattresses like me, do it. Folding in half. So this is not active. Both feet are as relaxed as we can let them be. Right? We're letting ourselves melt here. Up to you whether your head relaxes onto something. Right? Just breathe. We're here for a little bit. Take one more deep breath here. Slowly bring it on up. Taking our time. Great. Any props you were using, we can set off to the side. Oh, I didn't mention it. You can always stop and you can do it over again, pausing the video. But if you wanted to bring that right foot over to the left and get deeper into it, you could. You can always do that later. It's not going to hurt anything if you forget. Okay. Let's unwind the right leg. If you were twisted up, we'll unwind the right leg, both hands behind us. We're going to start to bend the right knee. The left ankle slides a little bit more towards that knee. And then we bend the right knee in as far as we're comfortable with. Might be different on this side. You might be more or less flexible. Remember, we're not being active in the chest. We're letting ourselves really relax into the shoulders. Get sloppy in the shoulders and the upper body. So you have permission. You've got plenty of permission just to chill out here. We want to feel this in our left hip and really nowhere else. If you do feel it somewhere else, that's fine. Just notice if you're pushing in order to get sensation. If you are, back it off a little bit. Great, take one more deep breath here. I actually really like this pose. I could stay here for a lot longer. Let's go ahead and unwind, taking the right heel away from us. We unwind the left leg. We give it a little side to side, maybe a windshield wiper side to side. Perfect. Let's come off of the hands, maybe get a drink. We check the time, we're good. All right. Let's get more into twists. So if you notice, we're getting a little bit into the entire body today, definitely focusing on hips and the low back. So let's go ahead and get into some twists and we'll get more into the spine here. Clear the decks. You want to have over here. We want to have our pillows close, but not in your way, just accessible. You're going to lay down on your mat, face up, all the way down. Oh, yes. All right. We're going to go back to that same position that we were in sitting up. So let's start by taking our right ankle to our left knee. And then allow that right knee to open up. Our shoulders are relaxed. It's okay if you can't see me. I'll do my best to guide you with my voice. Right now we have the left knee bent and the left foot on the floor. Take some deep breaths here and just relax. So this is obviously a different sensation to where we're opening, what we are opening, than when we're sitting upright. Still getting into the hip. So let's get a little bit more into the back of the right leg. Okay, we'll lift the left knee up. Go ahead and catch a hold of the back of your left knee and hang out there. Once again, you're going to start to feel this on the right side. Now you stay here. I am going to prop myself up just a little bit so I'm not laying completely flat on my back. You are perfect where you are laying flat on your mat. Excellent. This is a reclined pigeon pose. This is a classic. It's one of my favorites. Feels so nice. Really a nice opener in the hips. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Notice if your shoulders are reaching and straining forward for that left leg. Can you back it off just a little bit? Perfect. Now to get into our twist, I'm going to turn a little bit. If you need to angle yourself so that you can see me, feel like you can do that. All right, so what we want to do, we have our right ankle on the left knee. We're holding on to it, right? So we're going to take the left foot back down to the floor. We're keeping our right knee bent and the right ankle on top of our left knee. We're going to let both legs in this shape fall towards the left. The foot does not have to touch the floor, people. That's not even your goal, okay? So you're just letting yourself tip over to the left. The shoulders and back, upper back, stay glued to your floor. If your shoulders started to open up and they're following you over to they're following your legs over to the left, then back up a little bit and bring those legs up just a little higher, okay? Now, as far as our arms are concerned, arms going out into a T with the palms up feels fabulous. It can also help keep that right shoulder ground onto your mat, glued to the floor, keeping the chest open. If you want yet a little more, we can tip our head to the right. Perfect. And just breathe here. I'm going to come up just a little bit. It's a little deeper than I want to be. Perfect. Nice. Take one more deep breath here. And then bring your head back to the center first. Let's slowly lift those legs back to the center. We'll unwind right ankle from the left knee and maybe just do a soft windshield wiper side to side. If the arms are still in a T, that's fine. They can stay there. Don't worry about it. All right. Great. Let's do the other side. This time we're going right ankle to left knee. Is that correct? No, other side. So we're going left ankle to right knee, and then we lift it up on the other side. Is that correct? If it's not, please do it the other way. Let me think if that's true. If that's where we want to go. No, we're going right ankle to left knee. Yeah, that's the way we'll go. We'll go right ankle to left knee. I apologize. I'm totally zenned out here, so I forgot. Right ankle to left knee. When you're ready for that reclined pigeon, we hold on behind the left thigh and we bring it on up. And you hang on to it. You breathe there. Whichever side you haven't done before. Let's just call it that. I no longer feel confident about which side we've done. And honestly, is it the end of the world if you end up doing, one side twice? It's not. Eventually, you'd want to take it to the other side, but it's not going to break us. Perfect. So let's go into our twist. We're going to take the left foot down to the floor. This is where it is. Okay. Okay, so we take the right foot down to the floor. We have the left ankle on our right knee, and we're going to take it over to the right. I knew I'd get us there eventually. I apologize if you're totally confused. We wanted to have the left ankle on the right knee the whole time, okay? We're letting everything tip over to the right. We're letting the arms go nice and wide, and we're going to turn our head possibly to the left if you want that full spinal twist. What matters is we got there, right? And I'm lifting out of it just because it doesn't feel so hot for me to be that deep into a twist. You feel like you can go much deeper, okay? Remember, the foot does not have to touch the right side of the floor. That's not even our goal. We're trying to keep the left shoulder and the right shoulder attached to our mat. That's the important part. That's how we're getting that beautiful twist. Relax here. When you're ready to come out, let your head come. Then when we lift the legs back to the center, we'll unwind our left ankle from our right knee. Maybe we do some windshield wipers side to side. Perfect. So here on the mat, we're going to stay laying down face up. My pillow just moved out of my way here. So we're staying on the mat, laying face up. Let's go ahead and heel toe our feet in towards each other, and then let the knees open out wide to either side for a reclined butterfly pose. Take some deep breaths here. This is for the hips and the inner thighs. Arms can do whatever feels good. Letting the arms relax on your belly, down at your sides, maybe out wide, back in that T shape, or even cactus arms, where you're letting the arms just come on out to either side in goal pose, right? Backs of the fingers, elbows can touch the mat, or everything can float. If you're very tight through your chest, you might be floating, and that's fine. Your head's gonna stay in the center. Just breathe. It's an extremely expansive opening pose, so we're completely open in the front of our entire body. Your home and your house. You can let it go, right? Let's take one more deep breath. If you feel really comfortable in the arms, leave your arms here, whatever shape they happen to be in. Let's bring the knees slowly up towards each other. Great. The knees are going to stay near each other. Let's heel toe the feet wide, wider than the hips, but not as wide as your mat. That's just too wide. And let the knees just fall in towards each other here. So this is going to be to open, so we're letting those knees fall in towards each other. They don't have to touch. And you're going to feel a huge opening in the low back. That's what the beauty of the internal rotation, which is what we're doing right now, internally rotating those femurs in. And that's going to widen the low back, and we'll get that really great opener there. And just breathe. Again, arms can take whatever shape they like. Both those are nice cactus arms. The T shape. Maybe you just bring them up overhead and relax. From here, we're moving right into Shavasana. Now you might want to stay in the same position for Shavasana. Shavasana is whatever feels comfortable for you. It doesn't have to be a specific shape. This might feel really great to be in for the next few minutes. You can always bring the arms down to your sides and give your knees some space. We can always extend the legs out nice and long, more of a traditional Shavasana. You got pillows, right? So if it feels good, you can always stick pillows behind the knees and go as high as you'd like to with those pillows. Feels amazing. Arms are relaxed in whatever shape feels good. Find a comfortable position for Shavasana. If you need to move on with the rest of your day, maybe give yourself just a couple minutes to relax and something kind of meditative, even if it's not Shavasana, just to finish out your practice. If you want to stay right here for Shavasana, I'll keep track of the time for you so that you don't have to try and gauge how long you've been here and maybe possibly fall asleep since you are in your own house. Now I'm going to come up into a little bit more of a meditative seat. That's just a little bit more relaxing for me these days. Find something relaxing, guys, just so you can be here for the next 3 minutes. Allow the entire body to settle, find some peace. Press that the breath is slow and deep. Now, if you happen to be laying on your back, whatever position you were in for your Shavasana, slowly start to move your body. Maybe starting with fingers and toes, move the wrists and ankles, bend into the elbows and knees, and just start to get some general movement back, some life back. You can do a full body stretch, maybe stretching the arms away from your feet if you're laying down. Maybe you bring it in close because you like to take the knees into your chest and do a little rock side to side. Great. When you're ready, you decide how you come up to a comfortable seat. You can either do a rock up and down and slowly come upright, or you can roll onto your side and then take your time to come to an upright, comfortable seat. Give a few seconds to decide. Great. Let's roll the shoulders forward, up and back. One more time. Forward, up towards the ears, roll them back. On your next inhale, let's bring both arms up overhead. Bring the palms together. Allow the hands to come down to heart center on your exhale. Namaste, everyone. Thank you for joining me for this YinYasa practice. I hope it was nice for you. Hope you relax while you're at home. Hopefully you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you for our regular Vinyasa class either tomorrow or Monday. So I'll do another one of these pre-recorded live videos for you here on our Fit Yoga website, YouTube page. So have a lovely rest of your day, you guys, and I'll see you in the next class.